What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. Got a real special guest on today. This brother did like 26 years in prison, but you know what? I'll let Ronnie tell you his story. Ronnie, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and talk a little bit about how you ended up in prison.
Well, when I was 17 years old, I was still a junior in high school. Me and another guy went, and we were just like running the streets, and we went into an alley with some people that were selling some weed, and we were supposed to just grab the weed and run. But when we grabbed the weed and ran, someone's life was taken when they were trying to grab the weed from us. And I was, we were just kids, thought we were hard, doing stupid things. And basically that's basically what happened. And so because we didn't testify against each other or roll on each other, they basically threw the book at us. And I got a life sentence, he got a life sentence, and we thought we were never going to get out.
So you get sentenced to life at 17 years old.
Yeah.
You went to trial, right?
Yeah, I went to trial and tried to, fight it and beat it, but it wasn't. The lawyer I had was not good. He was just a public defender. And basically, if I knew what I know now, because I'm more educated, I think I would have had more of a fighting chance to actually, maybe take a plea bargain for like 20 years or something, Was
there an offer in the case?
No, well, the offers were to testify. It was all to testify against each other, and we weren't going to do that. We were also really good friends.
So he also was sentenced to life?
Yeah, he was sentenced to life too.
So what's going through your mind? You're 17 years old. You're charged with, this robbery and murder and all of this. In your mind, are you thinking like, damn, man, maybe I can beat this?
Well, so the circumstances of the case was I didn't actually even kill the person. I wasn't even there when the person died. I ran with the drugs. So they wanted me to tell them what happened when I wasn't going to do that. So when they had me back in the room trying to get me, tell me what happened, what was going on, I didn't even know anybody was dead, But so basically I'm not telling them anything, and they're trying to scare the shit out of me. I'm a little kid, and they put me in this cell for like at least 9 hours, trying to tempt me with food, trying to tempt me with, hey, we got this, we got salt. You want to use the phone? All you got to do is help us out, But so, I wasn't cooperating. So my defense was, when I was in county, I was trying to, I was thinking, hey, I didn't kill nobody. There's no way they're going to give me life in prison. You know what I mean? But you're also thinking about the street code and, keeping your name alive.
Not an easy thing for a 17-year-old to be facing, right? When you are looking at a life sentence, you had to be bugging out a little bit, right?
I was kind of in denial. I was a pretty fucking hard-headed kid, man. Like, I grew up in Buena Park, California, and my best friend got hit on a freeway, and then about 2 weeks later, my other really good friend got shot and killed in front of my house. And so my mom was like, I'm out of here. And so I was like, I'm staying in the hood. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not leaving my homies, And then I was, staying in different houses, and just like, and I was doing a lot of graffiti, because graffiti has always been my thing. And they tagged me to like 300 different tags, and they were running after me so I came up to Oregon.
That's where you end up getting jammed up in Oregon.
I ended up getting a murder charge out here off of that, yeah.
So how old are you when you finally go to prison, Ronnie?
I was 18. When I was a teenager, I was in the county.
You're from California. You're in Oregon. You catch a murder beef. You're going to prison now for life. In Oregon, is life?
Well, not now, not anymore, because the laws are changing and they're giving people, especially juveniles, chances. So no, but before, yeah, the Goose are going to the pro board with and not getting any love at all, and because like I was involved with riots and gangs, the most violent gang in prison, um, you know, and we gave them hell when I was a kid. I, at that point I wasn't gonna, there's no way they were gonna let me out. You know what I mean? And my mindset was like that too. I didn't really care.
Really, my question is more of when you got sentenced back then, life was supposed to be life, like you're never getting out, right?
That's what I figured. Yeah, I figured I'd be dying in there.
So now, being that you're from California, see, I never interviewed anybody that's been to prison in Oregon, right? So you're gonna have to school us today. Are there gangs? I mean, you talked about there gangs in Oregon?
Yeah, there's a lot of gangs in Oregon. It's separated. It's separated Paisas, Southsiders, natives, and the natives they'll have like all types of different cars. Then you got the Bloods and the Crips. Then you got the Hoovers that changed, and then they're beefing with everybody. But yeah, it's all separated by race.
So it's racially segregated.
Cars.
What are you, Mexican?
I'm half Mexican, half Armenian.
Okay. I was with a white dude. You know what? I was with a white dude that was from Oregon. One of the craziest dudes I ever met in the feds. He was part of a white gang, I think, called Brood.
You ever heard of know all about you're talking about Coronas.
100%. That's the dude.
I know Coronas personally. Yeah.
Me too. Let me tell you about that dude, bro. I know him personally only from being in the hole with him. That dude took his whole shower apart, dude. He took the soap dish out of it. He took the pipes out. He took the lights down. And the cops came and said, "What can we do to get you to stop?" He said, "I need 2 big bags of coffee." Dude, he destroyed everything. That dude could undo bolts with a wet sheet and turn it into a wrench, bro. That's the dude.
That dude's crazy, man. Yeah, I looked up to him when I was young. But yeah, because we were always cool with the white boys, for many, many years. There were so many white cars, though. They were so disorganized. And, like, Brood, they don't really, in Oregon, I don't know how it is in the feds. I heard they got kind of big in the feds, too. But in Oregon, they have natives in there. They have different races and stuff. But, yeah, I was really cool with Coronas. And he had another really homeboy named Jerry Bean that was really big in that car.
That was the dude. So you were what, a Southsider?
Yeah, I was a Southsider.
Where are you from in California? I know you mentioned earlier you're from the.
I'm from Buena Park.
Okay.
So it's a nice area, really, but where I lived at, it was, the lower parts, And back then in the 90s, when I was gang banging and doing graffiti, they would be like, "Oh, fools from OC or Orange County, they're not hard like in LA." So we try to put it down hard over there, trying to convince, hey, we're solidified over here,
So you were a Southsider when you were in the street before you went to Oregon?
Yeah.
You get to Oregon, 18 years old, walk into prison. Is there a shot caller? Is there a big homie?
Yeah, there was a big homie there, and, I can't get into too much about that, though. But, yeah, there was a big homie there. And, yeah, and basically I moved up in the chain,
Yeah, I won't ask you too many pointed questions, but definitely want to talk a little bit about like the gang situation in that prison system. Where you guys, like, I don't know if you've heard my show, but I've spoke about the Southsiders in federal prison, the Mexican mafia, and I said to me they were the most dangerous, most toughest gang. I got a lot of friends that are Southsiders. I'll show you some pictures after the interview with one of my homeboys, man. Just a phenomenal artist like you. So how is it in there? I mean,
it is. We go to the bathroom, someone stands and looks the other way. When there's a lot of rules, and it's sharing about who we are and what we do it's a violation, and you got to stay loyal to that process, or you're basically not respected, or you're cut, So it's it's some of the most close. I had some of the closest people and the closest relationships I've ever had in my life too, though. You know, um, we were just we were hella loyal to each other, took care of each other, and we basically, ran the prison. You know,
That's where I was getting to. I mean, who is the toughest gang? Not just because you were in that gang, but are they the like top of the food chain there in Oregon?
that's what they say. Yeah,
That's fine. And you know what you talk about? You say, hey, look, we were like brothers in there. That was my family away from my family.
yeah,
I've gotten out of prison. I've had family members that I thought I was close to, and you end up realizing, man, I'm really not too close with these people like I thought I was. But the people that I left behind, those were my brothers, man. Those were the people I ate with, the people that I would have went to war with, the people that I would have died with, the people that I did go get myself in situations over. But, those are your family, right?
yeah. I mean, dude, the bonds that you create in there are very powerful, man. It's like, and the loyalty of who I was around was so much deeper than every other car there. It's like, that you can trust this person with your life. Later on in the years, there was a little bit of leaks and stuff because I think Crystal myself, but for the majority of the years, the loyalty and the love and the respect we have for each other, is there was a lot of heart and goodness too. It just, the Kaza came first.
I understand that. So, is there a lot of violence over there? Stabbings? I mean, like, what's going
Yeah.
on there on the violent tip?
Yeah, in the 90s, it was very violent. And around when they started charging people with crimes, I would say around like 2006, it started getting a little bit more like people started, ranking out a lot more and like working with it was rare for us, but rampant for others. And we kind of like reprogrammed on how we did things, that people couldn't sell it with other people, and because other cars were getting leaked information on what we might, so the car wasn't as deep, but it was just as strong.
Strong. You guys had structure. You take care of business if you had to. That type of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's like, I want to make it clear though, like, yeah, I was a part of that for many years, right? But now that I'm out here, I lead my life with kindness, and I'm actually, a lot of guys that get out, if they're trying to get their head right, I try to mentor them and, speak to them, because I still hold some respect, and I'm all about bettering yourself and doing what's right and leading your life in integrity, and, doing something that is going to enrich in your life.
yeah, Ronnie. I'm not here to like paint you as a monster, but
All right.
we were gonna get there, man. And
All right.
it's all right that you said that, but I wanted to take you through the stages because the show is to save kids from life imprisonment. That's why you're a perfect guest. You went into prison at 17 with a life sentence, and you didn't even kill anybody. And I want these young kids right now. We had a kid in my city last night shooting at the cops, 18 years old. They're gonna put his lights out. But I want someone to listen to this and say, hey, man, I don't want to be in a situation that Ronnie was in. Yeah, Ronnie's a good dude now, but you know what? I don't want to spend 26 years of my life in prison before I'm like, hey, I'm a good dude now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, the most scariest thing is, Chad, is that, like, you can be somewhere with some people that are wild and have no sense, and just be in that situation and be caught up and not do anything, and your life can be taken, and that ain't trying to scare a motherfucker. That's real, because there's a law called, and it's almost in every state, it's called the felony murder theory, or aiding and abetting theory, and it doesn't matter if you're not the person that did it. If you are going to stay loyal to your homeboy or whatever, you're going down just like he is, and it ain't going to be no different.
I seen a case where these two guys, they go to rob this dude, right? The dude kills one of them, the other one gets away. They charge the other dude, the two partners. they charge him with the murder of his homeboy, even though the other guy shot him because they were breaking into that dude's house.
Yeah,
People
no,
don't
I've
realize
heard,
that can happen.
yeah, I've heard that shit too. Yeah.
Shit really does happen, right?
Yeah, it's real. And it happens a lot more than people think. Because, you know, it really does. I mean, I've heard hundreds of stories in there.
You know, in the feds, we got this term called putting in work. I don't know if that's what they call it in Oregon.
Yeah. We call it trabajo, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, work in Spanish, right? So, I mean, have there been times, allegedly, where you had to put in work over there?
Of course. Yeah. I spent most of my young years in solitary confinement.
Well, that's why I asked you, because in the beginning you mentioned something about solitary confinement. How much time straight did you spend in solitary confinement?
So one time without leaving, I did 4.5 years. You know, but the thing is, like over there in Oregon, they just recently just got stuff. You know, we didn't have radios, we didn't have shit. Like I was in there with Coronas one time, man, and we were just causing hell in there. We called Coronas Captain Chaos, you know, and like we were just causing hell in there because we just wanted a radio, you know, because we know like people were in SHU, they're getting radios and TVs. What about us? You know, like this is what SHU is, you know, special housing unit. And we were just miserable in there, man. We didn't have dip, pull-up bars, we had nothing until later on in the years, you know.
Do you think that messed you up mentally, spending 4.5 years of your life locked in a cell in a cage?
Yeah, I would come like all together, it was probably like 15 years, but doing that one long stint of time, it when I came out, man, I was like, I looked like the fucking walls, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, yeah, it took a while for me to mentally get back. But one thing about something that saves us too is that we have roll call, we have a structure of workouts, we write kind of like our thing of a manifesto of try to help people's spirits, and like we study and we talk about our studying, you know. And like me, I was an artist, right? So everybody wanted my art, so I would have subscriptions of magazines. I had every magazine you could think of, even the women's magazines, and I would just like I would utilize that to have something to look forward to, because that's like the only thing we had in there. But you only can get 5 magazines at a time, so I'd have a stack of magazines in front of my door, and then they would like switch them out. You know what I mean?
So you were in there reading Cosmopolitan or whatever the hell that was once in a while.
Oh yeah, that was the porno mag, man.
I know, I've read them a few times myself. That's why that's why I said that. So I know you do some badass artwork, right?
Yeah.
So you get out of prison. You've done this 26 years. What are you doing now?
So I got out, and I immediately enrolled into tattoo school. And I started tattoo school in July, end of July, and I got out June 24th of last year. And you know, it wasn't easy though. Like it just didn't go smooth as I thought it was. You know what I mean? But I got in tattoo school. I pushed hard on it, and I actually just graduated yesterday.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations. So, after being in prison all them years, you get out, you walk out into the world, right? What was it like that first day, man? Were you in shock? Were you nervous? I mean, were you affected mentally? I guess that's where I'm going.
You know, I really was so numb, man, because I still couldn't believe it. I was still looking for my ID when I first got out, but I was like so numb in that first moment. And I'm still kind of am numb and thinking that any day they're going to come get me, kind of thing. You know, I thought I was going to be way more excited than I was, but I also came to a period where this might sound crazy, but I wanted to go back, you know, because it was just like, I was like, I don't like it out here, man. It was like, it's just, you know, but I'm out of that stage now, you know. I've been in some gritty situations, man, because I really never drove before and stuff, and I had to drive almost 100 miles every day to go to school. And I'm driving to school every morning, getting up to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning, done with my workout, going straight to Salem, was a little further than where I'm at. I live in Eugene, one of the second biggest city in Oregon.
Damn, man, you were definitely dedicated.
Yeah.
What was one of the hardest things about coming out?
I would say just being able to like understand technology, man, because I was getting car sick in cars. I was getting car sick looking on the computer. I was getting car sick looking at my phone. There was times that my equilibrium was off and I could barely walk because I was looking at like the phone and it was making me so dizzy. Understanding just the most simplest things on it, it was just like, there's no way I'm ever going to get this technology, you know, because there was none of that, you know. And I'm a little better now though on technology.
I just did a show, right, and I talked about post incarceration syndrome, where when we come home after doing so much time, like we are a little bit messed up mentally. Like I thought I had it all planned out, like I was gonna be okay. Like I'm not like them dudes. And then when I
Yeah,
walked out here, you know, I had
yeah,
trouble crossing the street. I had trouble going into certain places. Sometimes
yeah.
I just want to be left alone. Sometimes I get angry. I mean, do you go through things where, you know, because you spent so much time in a cell, I think there are times when we just want everyone to leave us alone. We just want peace. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Well, like, yeah, I'm a people person, right? Like, that was some of the reasons kind of why I thrived in prison is because I could talk to every race and relate with them immediately, you know? And so when I got out here, I really wanted to open myself up to everybody, you know? And like I was having conversations with everybody and stuff like that. Like anybody, like he'd be able to like, we're gonna go to Walmart today, but you're not gonna like be talking to everybody in there, right? Because I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? You know, I'm like, hey, I could talk to whoever. You know, I was just like happy, but I started like getting some anxiety. Like I'll give you one example. So where I'd go to tattoo school at, there was this bum. He got really, really mean with these girls that were going to school with us. And I was like, hey, sir, I was like, I'd appreciate if you back up and just give them some space, you know. I was being as polite as possible. I wasn't trying to come gangster at them or nothing like that, you know. Just trying to be as kind as possible and political as I could. Pulled a knife out on me, man. Right? And something just clicked. And I was just like, well, you know, and I got stupid. And then I backed off. He left. And then when I was leaving, he started following me. So immediately I was like, all right, all right. Oh, you think, you know, I'm thinking in my head, right? And then so I turn in this little alley and he's gone. I don't know what that was, but that triggered something in me, right? And I got in my truck and I was driving, man, and I was like tripping hard. Like I don't maybe it's fear. I don't know what it was, right? But I was tripping. And so I was like sweating profusely, right? Like I was like, what the hell? I don't have deodorant on. So I said, I gotta go to the store and get some deodorant, right? The next thing I remember, bro, I had my backpack on and somebody was waking me up in the parking lot saying, hey, you all right? Are you high on drugs? What's wrong with you? Right? And wake me up. And I'm in the middle of two cars. And I don't remember getting there, nothing. It was just like some crazy panic attack, bro.
Hey, I mean, there's a bunch of people that, you know, that watch this show that been in prison and they've been there. I've had instances not where I didn't know where I was at or stuff like that, but I've had some moments where I was like, oh shit, like a little bit of a panic. But you know what? You got to get yourself together. And, you know, you talked about this dude. And sometimes, man, we got to think like, even like when you're in prison, man, sometimes people aren't a threat, right? If they're not a threat at the stage of life that we're at now after doing all that time, and sometimes they want a way out, we got to let them walk away, man. Instead of being like, yo, we're not little kids no more where we got to prove a point, where we got to be like, yo, I'm about to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For what? The guy's irrelevant. I mean, when he pulls a knife out on you, I mean, that's a little bit of a different situation, but once you're away from that situation, you're good, man, because nothing's worth losing your freedom over, right?
Oh, of course. And any type of situation, I actually learned from that situation and, you know, and kind of like thought how I got to remember I'm not in prison no more. It's okay to walk away. It takes more of a man to walk away and know, okay, look at the hard work I've done and think of my family and all the people that helped me get out. What would that look like? You know, I was just selfish and just self-absorbing, man. So like any type of issues I have now, I'll just walk away. It doesn't, violence is not even on my radar anymore, because I violence is only like temporary fix. Communication and cooperation with that person and compromise is what fixes things.
No doubt. So that was a teachable moment for you.
Yeah, it was like, no, man, look, you got lucky. I mean, like, you're lucky that don't be playing Russian roulette like that.
And that's what people don't understand on the other side. Like that dude didn't even know you. He didn't know that you just spent 26 years of your life in prison. He didn't know that at the drop of a dime, you're a gentleman right now, but you could be a gangster if you had to be, because you were at one time. They don't know that you put that gangster thing away, man, but if you have to bring it out, you can bring it out. And it's better not to, but it's always there, right?
Yeah, well, I hope it's packed away pretty far, but I do relapse sometimes, but I got really good self-talk, man, and I ain't afraid to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? I ain't afraid to be vulnerable and just be like, hey, man, like let's try to work this out through communication, man, because I'll give you, you work with me, I work with you, and we'll come in the middle.
Really, it's a win-win for everybody. In this moment, I'm learning something from you, man, because you're teaching me a little something, or reminding me that, hey, I'm not, like you said, I'm not in prison no more, man. My obligations are my family, my wife, and my two little boys, and that's my obligation. Not being like, hey, you're gonna hurt my pride, or you're gonna hurt me, or try to embarrass me. All that stuff's out the window. That don't mean nothing compared to what it's gonna feel like when you smash this dude. For the little 2-3 minutes that it feels good, you'll be back in prison laying in that bunk like, damn, I let all these people down. I let my family down, the advocates, all the people that helped me get out of prison. And now look at me. I'm just sitting in a cell again like a dummy, right?
Exactly. I have this, so I've done a couple speeches, right? And like, so what I want to do advocacy and help people. That's what my heart is, First, I got to get myself together, but what you said right there reminds me of something. I remember being in a visit, right? And I seen this little girl with her mom, and it was a Chicana girl. And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably one of the homeboys' old lady, right? And, I was kind of checking on it, seeing what homeboy was going to come or whatever. And I heard the little girl say, my daddy's going to sit here. We're going to play shoots and ladders. And my daddy's favorite color is this and this and this. It was like just the cutest thing, right? Then I see the sergeant come up, Sergeant Arguello, come and talk to the mother. And told the mother, I didn't actually hear that part, but I know what he told her. Hey, your visit, you're going to have to leave because your visitor is not here because he's in the hospital right now. Right? And she comes back and tells the little girl, and the little girl flips out, man. She's like, Daddy would come. You're lying. It was horrible. Right? It was a horrible circumstance, man. So I get back to the cell with my homeboy, and I'm like telling them a story I just told you, right? And they're like, you know who that was, right? That was Flacco, who we just clipped. And at that point, bro, we talked about how we never hurt women. We don't hurt children. Sex offenders are, there's never no mercy for them, But at the same time, man, we were hurting women. We were hurting children, And, and I started like kind of like thinking, oh, well, I'm going to back away from the politics and being that type of thing, But yeah, I still didn't really learn my lesson fully from that. But that just reminded me when you said that, because you don't understand when you do something, you're not just hurting that person. There's pieces behind that, homie. You know what I mean? There's more than that. You know, and you talk about you don't want to hurt women and children, but you are when you're doing violence, man.
You know what, man? Sometimes people don't think about that. We don't think about that. Just like, I went to prison. I was a crack dealer, man. My story's all over the internet, but I didn't think about when I was selling crack about the little kids whose parents were selling their Christmas presents, or, the little boy that didn't have his mom there to help him do homework because she was busy getting high, or the father that wasn't there to throw a football with their son because the father was out getting high because of people like me being there to contribute, to give that, to have that outlet for the father to go get high. And when I was a little kid, my dad got high, right? My father was a junkie. He ended up leaving my mother. But all the things that I hated, not having a dad to throw a football to, and, I did all the same things. My father left me because he was a drug addict. And now, if I would have had kids at that time, I would have left my kids because I was a drug dealer. We don't see the effects, man. But now that we are able to wake up, you sit in prison, you think about this stuff like, damn, man. And what you just said, I'm sure a lot of people watching the show are going to appreciate that. You say, hey, we don't hurt women, we don't hate kids, but, every little girl's first hero in life was her father. And obviously Flacco was that little girl's hero, and he didn't show up for that visit that day. So I definitely can feel you on that, man.
Yeah, it's something that's going to stick with me forever. And anytime I think like that and I think about that, and that's, because I have empathy now, man. I truly do. And that's why I try to stay in kindness, because when you stay in kindness, you lead your life in kindness, and I'm more happy like that too. I was miserable in there, like living that type of lifestyle, me personally, and
so many of us are, and we don't let people know that. We, sometimes the image that we project is the image that we have to protect. So when we're like, yo, we're in prison, tough guy image, but a lot of people don't know when you lay in that bunk, man, you feel that stuff at night, man. You are miserable. You're like, damn, man, I'm out here really, to a certain extent, I hate to say it like this, but sometimes we're faking. Maybe not faking on, being able to commit violence or do whatever at the drop of a dime, but, we're faking when we're like, hey, man, don't nothing hurt me, because at night that shit hurts, man.
Guys, we're all thinking about it. And, people say they ain't, but that's the story they're telling themselves or whatever, to survive. What the truth is we're just damaging who we really are.
I feel you.
Everybody, well, 99% of people are fucking, they want to be kind, but they don't want to look soft, so you're numbing yourself, man. And when you're numbing yourself and you're numbing who you truly are, you're going to become miserable, man, because you can't numb such a powerful emotion like that,
You definitely can't. So everybody's listening to the show. They're like, this dude said he had life. How the hell did he get out of prison? Tell the people how you got out.
So I got into a dog program called Joys of Living Assistance Dogs. And I became a dog trainer. We were teaching dogs 90 different commands and meeting war veterans, people that had no legs, any kind of disability you could think of. And we were passing the leash to the dog. And basically the dog showed me how to have empathy and patience and love. So my aunt and my family seen that I started like changing. They're like, we're going to get you out of there. So my aunt went and wrote every law school in United States, right? And like said, hey, this is what he's doing. He's like becoming, he's like now he's communicating, because I was teaching communication classes too, called Art of Communication. I became like the head dude for Gogi. I'm not sure if you heard about Gogi or not. Gogi is getting out by going in. It's a pretty popular program on the West Coast of California and Oregon and Washington. So I was like mentoring people in prison, and like, trying to change the culture in some way, without jeopardizing the prison code. But so my aunt got an email from somebody at Lewis and Clark Law School, a beautiful lady named Eliza Kaplan. And she was like, "Hey, I want to hear your story, man, from your kid to everything." And I told her, and she's like, "You shouldn't even be in prison. Like that's crazy, right?" And then she found out all this other stuff that because one of the plea bargains was 7.5 years to testify against my crime partner. And she was like, "That's just like torture." So she got me to see the pro board, and I seen the pro board and presented my case. And that we just threw all the violence that I had right in the forefront. We didn't let them bring it up, and just put it all out there, And they put me into another hearing, and I was kind of scared. And they wanted me to present a release plan if I was. So we went to another hearing, and I presented a release plan, what I was going to do and what my goals were. And by the grace of God, man, I was able to get out.
What about your crime partner?
Yeah, he just recently got out too. He went to prison immediately and started rehabilitating himself. He was educating his mind. He was in programs. He actually created programs in there. He was the president of the Lifers Club, I think. He was doing all kinds of awesome stuff. So he was working on his rehabilitation since day one. So like for me, like he learned from his mistakes, and went and was just doing awesome things. He was going to Bible college too, and like he was just doing a bunch of awesome things. And he finally was able to get out too.
That's what's up, man. I'm happy that both of you are on the street. So now you're out. Are you married? Do you have kids? I mean, what's going on in your life?
So yeah, I was trying to get a part-time job while I was going to tattoo school, because I had to like pay the bills too, and like, so because I've been selling my art, designing skateboards, doing whatever I can to like make ends meet, And I went into this place called Opportunity Oregon. Her name is Nancy Pants, who helps people that are getting out of prison find jobs. And just immediately, like, I just felt like I was connected to her, man. Her kindness and her love and what she does for us was like amazing. But she wasn't feeling it from me in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, "I don't do that. If you're going to be like," so I was like, "Well, you know what? I'll find my own job then." Right. So I went and found my own job, and I was like, "Hey, I'm working at a gas station, or whatever, and I just kept on being persistent. And I was like, "Look, I got the same mindset you got. I want to help people too getting out of prison. I want to make a difference. I want to make a change, you know?" And by the grace of God, we fell in love, And so we're together, and we're like, she just moved in just recently to my house, and like, yeah, we're like a power couple to fight for rights for incarceration, man.
Man, that's what's up, man. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that happened. So now your focus is what? Tattoo shop next? What's going on?
So I moved into the tattoo shop. It's called Limitless Tattoo in Albany on yesterday. And so my focus is just to be recognized as one of the best artists in the world. It might be, slightly delusional or whatever, but that's my goal.
Let me tell you something, man. If you don't believe it, no one else will. You can be the best.
Yeah.
I had a dude used to tell me that in prison, man. I used to say, man, I'd be negative. I'd be like, "Man, you think I'm ever going to get out of here, man?" And this dude's name's Cedric Dean. He's doing big things in Charlotte, North Carolina, man. Youth groups, been in movies, wrote over 20 books. He said, "Man, if you don't believe it, no one else will. You ain't never going to get out of prison if you keep walking around here talking about, 'Hey, man, you think I'm ever going to get out?' You got to believe you're going to get out. You got to manifest it." And you know what, man? That dude set me on the course to get out of prison. And 5 years later, after he told me that, I got out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Like you, man, by the grace of God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever read a book by How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
I think I've seen that book. I'm not going to say that I read it. I mean, I've probably read 2,000-3,000 books. Literally. But I've read a lot, man.
Like The Power of Intention. But yeah, what we tell ourselves is what we believe. you know, I slip all the time, but I put myself in check, you know, and that's, I try to manifest, and usually what I manifest, and if I do it loyally, it does come true.
No doubt. So listen, before we close, like I said, you're the perfect guest. There's some 17-year-old kid out there that might be approached this week, and one of his homeboys like, yo, man, you know, we got this dude, let's go rob these 5 pounds of weed. What message would you give to your younger self, or to, you know, a young man or a young lady that's on the wrong path?
You know, it's okay to think for yourself, man. It's okay to make the right decision. Because if someone is going to cut you loose or look down on you because you didn't do something or do something with them or think the way they're thinking, they were never your friend in the first place. They're going to end up leaving you anyways. And, you know, I'm a true believer on who you surround yourself with, who you're going to be. You know, surround yourself around people that have bigger goals, that are positive and bigger things in mind. And who you are around is who you're going to be. If you're going to be around people that are thinking like that, or thinking like they want to get something fast, you're just going to go away fast.
Hey, that's a hell of a message, man. Think for yourself, because friends like that, man, who needs enemies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So look, Ronnie, man, I'm going to tell you, you know, before I close the show again, man, I appreciate you coming on. You got a hell of a story. It is a story of redemption. This ain't just, hey, you know, let's talk about all the violence and the blood and gore in prison. And it's, hey, look, man, you can change your life. You can go to prison as a young man and get out and be a real man and a real leader, a real father, a real husband, all of them things when you get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about manifesting and being kind and doing what's right, man. And it's, you know, that word vulnerability, people look at it like it's, oh, that fool's soft, but really vulnerability is the true strength.
No doubt, man. Listen, I'm going to close the show and just let you know, man, I appreciate you. I wish you all the best. Anything I can do to help you, man, reach out. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video. Someone needs to hear this one. With respect, until tomorrow, we're out.